Hey everyone, it's vocal coach Mary Z, and I want to welcome you. This is the first in the levels of how to do extreme vocals, harsh vocals, distorted vocals. As you guys know, I'm a vocal coach and a metal vocalist, and I specialize in teaching people modern singing styles, but especially screaming and distorted vocal styles. So I've created a couple of these series that will help take you through your journey. Maybe you're not ready for lessons yet. If you do get to the end of these and you feel like you're still not getting it or you have some questions, I am a full-time vocal coach and I do lessons on Zoom for people all over the world. So if this isn't enough, you can always email me at voicehacks@gmail.com for more information about how to get a one-on-one lesson and get some feedback. But I think that these programs will help get you started. This should be where you start, especially if you've never screamed before. This is going to be level 1 of false chord screaming. We're going to try to start with that one if you've never tried anything before. And, just a couple things to keep in mind. If you feel like anything pushes you beyond your limits of comfort in any way, whether that's like pain or whether it's feeling strain or just beyond what you're comfortable giving a shot on your own, or you feel like you're going hoarse, you want to stop, okay? So we're going to talk about some of the physical sensations we should and shouldn't be having in this, because you will have a lot of feeling, but not a lot of what I would call like pain or things that are sort of going to result in a negative consequence. So if any of that feels weird, just stop at any time. And as always, you guys, I'm not a medical professional, and a vocal coach is not a substitute for a medical professional. So let's get started. The first level of learning to false chord scream is to realize that false chord screaming, we're going to be flapping tissues around inside our trachea, namely the vestibular folds, which are your false chords right here, your soft palate, your uvula, your sinuses, and we're going to create a lot of air turbulence in the sinus cavity here. And basically, this is going to create a white noise almost. It's not a literal white noise like a physicist might draw out, but it's pretty close. On a spectrum analyzer, these are noise sounds, not voiced sounds. We do have a second category, a separate category for distorted sounds with voiced pitches in it. So if you want to learn those, start here and then go on to that level next. So just realize in this level, this type of scream, if you will, we're going to get rid of voiced sounds with it. So this is not the type of scream that you would be able to sing a melody with, for example. And this is not the type of scream that you would be able to pick out a specific pitch. You'll have harmonics of high, mid, and low, but they're going to be harmonics. And this is going to be a noise. And it's going to be done with our vocal cords open. First thing to know is that your vocal cords do not have tactile sensation in them. So when they sit open like this, you're not really going to be able to perceive it. You're going to perceive it through sound. So a lot of what you're going to be doing is hacking the system that controls the voice through using sounds and specific techniques that I'm going to show you here. So the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of warm up in this first video. So let's do a little bit of a warm up. And this doesn't matter if you've never screamed before or sang anything for that matter. This is a warm up that anyone can do, even if they're not familiar with singing per se. So first we'll start with the breathing exercises. The first breathing exercise we're going to do is calibrating, filling the lungs. Roll the shoulders back like this. We're going to sit with our feet on the floor. Sitting is okay at first, and you want to watch the lumbar curve in your lower back. Some of this stuff might make you lightheaded at first, so actually sitting down isn't bad, especially if you've never tried it before. So then once we're sitting straight with our shoulders back and our lower back curve isn't too deep, then what we do is we take one hand and we put it on our side rib here. And we visualize that we have a piece of tape or string wrapped around that rib cage 360 that we're going to break out of by inhaling through the mouth and expanding 360. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure your hand is up here on the rib cage. You can find that by feeling the bones, and it's really quite high in the torso, surprisingly. We don't want to be down here on the squishy waist, okay? So up on where you can feel the bones under your fingers. My thumb is kind of in the back. It's just like lining up on the side like this, my hand. So I'm going to visualize that I have a piece of tape that I'm going to break out of 360. I'm going to inhale through the mouth and watch that happen for a second. I'm going to go. Exhale normal. So let's do 3 of those. You want to completely inhale and completely exhale through the mouth right now. Breathing through the nose isn't wrong. It's fairly pleasant. But in reality, you're not going to have enough time to breathe through the nose when you're singing or screaming. You're going to need to breathe through the mouth. We need a full lung capacity for this stuff. So let's inhale through the mouth. Here we go. Exhale normal. Second one, here we go. Exhale normal. Third one, last one, here we go. Exhale normal. Next thing we're going to do is calibrate our exhale. So that was calibrating our inhale. This is going to be calibrating our exhale. This video can be your warm-up routine anytime you work on harsh vocals. So we're going to do a long hiss out, medium loud volume actually. This exercise is not about seeing how long you can go. This is about learning to exhale properly and to support from your abdominal muscles underneath your lungs. So we're going to do a pretty loud hiss, almost on like a TS, like tss, like this, okay? And so what you want to do is we're going to imagine that we have a little string tied to our sternum here, right to the chest plate, that's lifting us up like this as we're running out of air. And we're going to try not to let that drop. We're going to stay up until we run out. If you do it medium loud, it won't take forever. And that's why I want you to kind of do it like that so that you get your abs squeezed fairly quick. You can screenshot it in your mind, like the feeling, the general feeling. Try to capture that in your mind and memorize how that contraction feels in your abdominis. This is going to be your gas pedal for your screams. So all you have to do is long hiss, lift from the center until you run out of air. And then when you feel like you're running out of air, you're going to feel this contraction here, and then just let go. Even if that's a short period of time, all we're trying to learn is what that feels like. So let's try it together. Deep breath in, long hiss out. And we're lifting from the chest. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Lift, lift, lift. Go till you can't go anymore. If that's right now, just drop out whenever you can't do it. Lift, lift, lift. If you're going forever, make it a little louder. Lift from the sternum. Don't let it drop until you run out. When you feel like you can't take it anymore, then let go. There, very good. And you're going to feel this contraction in the abdominis here. Whenever we inhale for screams, we relax the stomach. We contract when we exhale. Contract. So this is how we're going to be learning two key concepts here. The mind is the steering wheel and the stomach is the gas pedal. Let's go to the vocal warm-ups for the harsh vocals. And this is not really singing. This is going to be pitches with your voice, because even though false chord is a voiceless scream, we want to warm up a little bit. We want to draw blood flow to the area. It is a scream. It's extreme vocals. It is not a passive action. And you don't want to have your blood vessels be cold and tight before you begin these things. We want them to be dilated. We want to have the blood vessels open and things flowing. So let's do a little bit of a vocal warm-up first. So we're going to do a Z. It's almost going to be like a DZ, like zzz. And I want you to sing on the zzz. A lot of people start this exercise and they go Z like that. No, we're going to sing zzz. Sing on the zzz, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do Z's going from the medium talking voice, wherever that is. It could be anywhere, wherever your voice sits, okay? Medium to low. Medium is just where your talking voice comes out. So I'm going to do medium to low, medium to low, medium to low on the Z. I'm going to move my hand so you can kind of hear my voice pitches going up and down, but you do not need to do the hand. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate, and then you're going to do it with me afterwards. So here we go. I'm going to go zzz. Very good. So let's do it again. And you're going to try it now with me. And wherever your pitches might not exactly match mine, just start wherever your talking voice starts and go below it. So here we go. Ready? Very good. Now we're going to do the same thing and go mid to high like this, like zzz. But only mid to high talking voice. You heard that I didn't really flip into sort of a head voice or a falsetto. I stayed out of there for the moment. So let's go medium to high talking voice. Here we go. Very good. Very good. So now let's do one last one. And this one we will flip. So for all voices, regardless of how low they are, we're going to flip past the break. We're going to use a head voice, or some of you might think of it as a falsetto voice, you know. Oh, hey, oh, do your best yawn or Mickey Mouse impersonation or something, and you want to imagine it yawning and floating, and you really want to get way above your talking voice. So roughly try to imitate me. I have a pretty low voice that a lot of people can do this, even male vocalists. I want you to give this a try. You have this in you to do the falsetto. So I'm going to go I call these rainbows because you go up and then down. We're going to add something to it. I'm going to bring my arms up over my head like a half jumping jack in the top of the rainbow. This is a concept we're going to use a lot in our false chord screaming lessons. So here we go. I'm going to go floating and yawning, but this is a Z. This is a little bit more like an SZ, like a sizz or a suzz. Let's do it again. Here we go. Good. Let's do another one. Here we go. And some of you can sing a lot higher than me. Let it go higher if you can, okay? So go as high as is comfortable. Challenge yourself a little bit on those ones. It's okay to push a little bit because it's going to be your abs. It's kind of got some built-in safeguards. So use the arms, float it up a little higher if you can. And try to get your abs to do the work. The arms and everything are what's going to start making your abs do the work. But the idea when you flex your abs is that it's whenever you contract your abdomen, it takes your guts and it pushes them up against the lungs. And you can't necessarily feel that. They don't have a lot of tactile sensation, but you will feel like when you squeeze your abs, your throat doesn't need to do any of the work. And that's the concept. This is a wind instrument. So this really needs to be the gas pedal. And it is a flexing, like a sit-up or push, a sit-up or Pilates or yoga or something. It is not a sucking in. It's a flexing, which it does the similar action. So just always think of flexing, contracting, like doing a sit-up, planking your abs, standing up, okay? And when we're doing harsh vocals, we're going to plank them on 10. It's more like a gas pedal when we do clean vocals. But in harsh vocals, we really need to, extreme vocals, distorted vocals, we really need to squeeze that gas pedal on 10. Let's dive into our first false chord exercise that you can try. So the first thing we're going to try is the big sigh. And because I can't literally tell you to flap your false chords around, I can't tell you to flap your uvula. We can get this stuff going, but the wiring to this area is running through a different system, and we're hacking the system. This is why this is called VoiceHacks. So the first thing we're going to do to hack the system is realize that we actually already kind of do a false chord scream when we're very, very frustrated, and when we make a very big frustrated sigh. A couple things about the false chord is that they always are loud, even from the first day. So they don't ever have a quiet phase. This is not true for all screams, but this is true for false chord. They start loud, they're always loud, so it's a little bit of a catch-22 to try to do something loud that you're not familiar with, that maybe you've never done before. We're going to do a sigh on the letters H-U-H, huh. So we're going to try to think of being very frustrated. Right now, I don't want you to think technically, I want you to think emotionally. So I want you to think about being very, very frustrated, the frustration that you have where it's like, there's traffic again, or I can't believe I have to go through this thing again, or I can't believe it didn't work. Whatever it is, think about being that kind of frustrated. And we're going to bring the arms up for our big sigh. When you do the big sigh, it's very important that you get your arms up like just before the sigh starts coming out. Your chest is going to want to collapse. When the arms are up, you don't have to worry about that. You can allow it to collapse because it's not going to collapse very far. And it's going to rely on your abs to push it out. It's kind of a default. So we imagine if it makes it easier that you're sending your frustration to the sky, I don't know. But get those arms up just a little bit before you start it. So let's bring them up. And we're going to do the sigh. I'll demonstrate first. There it is. You want to keep your arms up while you do it. And feel free to be pausing these videos and repeating and trying these things more times. I recommend doing like 1 or 2 of these videos a day. Don't try to do the whole series in a day. So let's try this again. Here we go. Deep breath in through the mouth. Big sigh with the arms up as big as you can. Very frustrated. Here we go. Good. Now, if that's a little tough, I want you to pause it and try to do this. Try to do these things when no one is in earshot of you, when you really feel like no one can hear you, because that's a big thing I find. When people feel a little bit self-conscious, like even if there's a neighbor around or something, like through the walls, you still won't go for it 100%. Try to find a time when you're at home or create a closet, or on my booking website for my lessons, I have links to portable vocal booths and things like that on Amazon, of which you can find in my Linktree link here on YouTube, my YouTube links here. You guys can find these things and make something happen in your own house. I also have a video on YouTube about how to create a space at home, how to create a quiet space. You're going to have a lot better luck trying these when psychologically you believe that nobody can hear you. So try to work towards making it so that you can practice these at home somehow. So the second one we're going to do and the last one for this video is going to be the short caveman grunts. A, B, C, D, but we're going to view it like hey, B, C, D. And imagine that the B, C, D, that it ends with H. So I'm going to go like this, short and powerful. Here we go. A, B, C, D. Okay, and you could do more like a jumping jack like this. I just don't have a lot of room. So you can either go up and down like this or like this. So it's up to you guys, but I want to try it. Let's try it now together. Deep breaths in and think of like really short grunts, cavemen. Here we go. A, B, C, D. Very good. So that's your first ones to start. Get a handle on this. Repeat it a couple of times. Come back for the next video when you're ready. What you're going to start feeling now is this tingly, scratchy sensation of the tissues you're using flapping around. The tissues that we have that are not the vocal cords are really hypersensitive and they flap around a lot. Check out my YouTube channel for some videos of this stuff, some endoscopies. But the point is you're going to be starting to feel some scratchy sensations. It's different from hoarseness. If you're going hoarse, stop what you're doing. Scratchy is good, hoarse is bad. Welcome, and I'm happy to have you. See you in the next video.